It's one thing for people to say something, and it's another thing for them to pretty much understand the ramifications of what it is that they're saying. I told y'all yesterday in my video that I was making that I was going to put out that statement, which pretty much is a fact, that PlayStation can't match Xbox in content delivery this generation. That's literally what I put, and I said that we were going to see guys that were much more inclined to PlayStation actually take the bait. They took it. When they took the bait, I started to inquire. You know me, I like to ask questions, right? And some of them kept saying things like, well, Xbox, wasn't selling enough games. And so that's why they started porting their games to PlayStation. Xbox gamers weren't buying it. And you know me, I have very little tolerance for all that slander. And you know what's crazy is this thing actually has nothing to do with me. It's just I can't believe that there are people who walk around actually just saying things that are untrue that they can't factually back up in the gaming scene. So I have to ask and say, where are y'all getting this stuff from? So what did I do? I started to hold up the mirror. And you guys are looking here, you're like, this is a Jeff Cayley post. VG, where's this going? This is a post from 2021. Jeff Cayley said PlayStation software sales announced today. Marvel's Spider-Man Miles Morales, 6.5 million units. MLB The Show, 21, 2 million. Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, PS5 only, 1.1 million. Returnal, PS5, 560K. Do you know what's actually interesting here is MLB The Show 2021 was the first MLB The Show game to go to Xbox. This announcement that Jeff Cayley was putting up here, you can find it in the Berkshire Hathaway Wire, which is their announcement that actually talked about this. I can point you to exactly how to go about finding it. Go on Wikipedia, look up MLB The Show sales, and go all the way down to the sources or references, and you'll see this article that says PlayStation 5 surpasses 10 million units sold, remains the fastest selling console in Sony Interactive Entertainment history. Click on it, and it will take you to Business Wire, a Berkshire Hathaway company newsletter of some kind, and you'll see July 28, 2021, 9 a.m. This Jeff Cayley post, July 28th, this year, as well, with its own announcement, July 28th. There's something that you need to see here. As they're talking about PlayStation 5, they also talk about these games, Marvel Spider-Man, Miles Morales, MLB The Show, Returnal, and Ratchet and Clank. And the numbers that Jeff Cayley cites are exactly these numbers. But what's also more important is MLB The Show sold 2 million copies across all platforms. Among these games, it was the only multi-plat game. And its sales had increased faster as the fastest selling title in the franchise history than it had ever seen in the past. I took to Twitter to tell these cats that, yes, Xbox having no games chanting that the PlayStation fanboy kingdom was doing is funny because they now want to downplay it. This user PHXCC, when I made my original post, he said, yawn, I doubt you have this kind of energy if EA was releasing the same amount of games. And then he said, Xbox is just a third-party provider for PlayStation. Why would anybody care? Thanks for the games, I guess. That's when I called it out and said, remember when Xbox had no games? Which was the chant of PlayStation Legion? Yeah, let's not pretend that the concerned trolling that they were doing back then didn't resonate, right? And this person said, and now they have the games and they're all coming to PS5, LOL. They don't want, see, check this out. They don't want to acknowledge that whole talking point is now a dead moot point. So they want to yawn and act like, oh, we're so bored. You can't be bored. I can't let you be bored. Come on now. Are you asking me to make 12 videos a day? Because if that's going to be the case, then I might consider that option in reminding you every day that your Xbox's dead chants from back then were just fomented lies. PlayStation was simply money-hatting third-party games from Xbox to make the console irrelevant now that the developers in third-party sense are looking at those deals and shaking their heads and saying no, because there's a saturated market, you want to yawn and pretend like it's not really a big deal. No, you're not allowed to yawn. Which is actually an involuntary response you can't even help. And I'm over here saying this. And so this person replied me. I told you they would take the bait. He said, "You mean PlayStation keeping Xbox alive? Someone needs to buy their games." And he fell into the trap. He fell into the trap, not realizing that Xbox gamers have been carrying PlayStation's live service business for at least 4 years now. If we look at the unofficial MLB The Show sales data, it's been kind of sorry, if you understand what I mean, compared to the speed at which it achieved its sales number reported over here. Because all of these numbers that we have here, these are unofficial numbers. I can't verify nor show you a third-party source that would have actually gone ahead to give you these, data points. However, this 2 million, we do have an investor call or investor, wire that was propagated to tell us that 2 million units sold very fast. Do you know how fast 2 million units sold? This was July 2021. MLB The Show launched in April of 2021, and it did that much in sales. Look at Returnal that launched in the same month as an exclusive game, a small-scale exclusive game. Are you seeing exactly what we're seeing? Now, Ratchet & Clank sold very well, but you can't tell me that the exclusive paradigm is this special thing, as now Xbox gamers are now in the mouths of PlayStation executives like they did with Lin Tao when she talked about how MLB The Show and Helldivers 2, which recently released on Xbox, has been making up significant portions of their revenue. And I said that's what the PC gamers are here for. And I said also, did Xbox players and PC gamers not give you all a hand with Helldivers 2? I said, don't go out throwing shade. PlayStation needs a lowly PC gamer like me. He said, sure, buddy. Beside Helldivers 2, their games sell way more on PlayStation. Because they literally keep them there, and by the time they come to PC, there are just way many games. I think PlayStation games do very well on PC, even after that. And I have proof that they do very well. It's here. Sorry. There's proof. I don't have it, but there is proof that they actually do well. For instance, if we go and look at the Steam best of various years, you'll see these PlayStation games hiding. Look at Miles Morales. Look at Remastered. Hiding and eating cash from here. Printing money in the top 100 titles of 2023. I can point you to 2 PlayStation ports. Actually, here's a third one. The Last of Us Part 1. This is not something that's hidden. It's only hidden from these guys because, again, for some strange reason, you talk about, they sell way more on PlayStation. They come to PC even years later, and they print free money for PlayStation, but you want to downplay it. Oh, you can keep coping for Xbox. Fact is, most gamers don't care. And I'm willing to bet their next system will sell even less. Why would anyone waste money on a PC wannabe? I said, fact is not subject to your subjectivity. All this noise your PlayStation pundits are secretly sporting an Xbox console, or an account, even based on their own confession, a Game Pass subscription. So with one mouth, they talk down Xbox, and with their hands, they support Xbox. He said, nope, not a chance. Haven't had an Xbox after the 360 and only had, Game Pass for 4 months because of the deal for €1. So you got Game Pass. You gave them $1 and barely used it, never getting it again because it isn't worth it. Again, what are the Game Pass subscription numbers? I said, no, stay with me. Let's look at Xbox helping PlayStation out with a Game Pass bag, by the way. Many people keep forgetting that PlayStation took Game Pass's money. They did. I'm not leaving this thing alone saying, the MLB wanted it. So San Diego Studios didn't benefit from it? PlayStation didn't benefit from a Game Pass bag? These same people that let PlayStation take Game Pass money for enough years and then jumped and started saying that it was going to destroy the industry, you all are not watching this thing take place? Nah. This is not the way it should go. And so after all the talk and everything was said and done, still got people coming out to tell me that, it's not really that much of the money. It's only 2.7%, 2% or whatever it is. And I said, so what was that 2%? What was that 2%? I asked him, I said, what does it look like in numbers? He doesn't know what the 2% is that PlayStation actually made in a, dollar value perspective. Do you know why they don't know what the 2.7, what the 2% is? The moment they tell you how much that 2% is, their worldview is going to collapse. That's what's going to happen. That old PlayStation games are making PlayStation that much money, and it's not enough for PlayStation that they had actually gone out there to make the money in the first place. This is the gaming conversation, ladies and gentlemen. This is what it is that you're dealing with. This right there. And all of them, every time you actually point out these things, they start yelling that you're an Xbox scope. And I told them, I said, guys, if Xbox is the best that you can do, then your ecosystem is irrelevant. That's literally what it is, because now you have to find yourself on the defensive, trying to defend the indefensible, because the things that you criticize Xbox for as lacking are the exact same things that you want to defend PlayStation for right now. Look at you. Thank you.